Wednesday, the kind of day that should have passed quietly. But it didn't. I was sitting on that cold hospital bed, staring at the small whiteboard where someone had written Wednesday in blue marker. That's how I remember it. Not the time, not the room number, just the day I lost everything. They told me I had miscarried. 11 weeks. It wasn't just a baby, it was hope, a heartbeat, a future. And now it was gone. My hands rested on my stomach like they were trying to hold on to something that had already slipped away. I couldn't even cry. My body was empty. My heart was worse. That morning, I had told my husband I was feeling strange, cramps, cold sweats, something just felt off. "Chelsea," he said, kissing my forehead, "you're strong. You'll be fine." Then he walked out the door. At 1 p.m., the pain grew sharper, and the nurse told me they needed to keep me for observation. I texted him, my hands trembling. "Please come back. I need you." 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed. I picked it up quickly, thinking he was on his way. "Don't be selfish. It's not just your loss." I stared at the words for a long time. Reread them. Maybe I misunderstood. But I didn't. He meant every word. To him, I wasn't hurting, I was dramatic. I was selfish for wanting him there. And then, like some twisted surprise, his mother walked in. No knock. No hello. Her heels clicked across the floor like she was entering a boardroom. Her eyes scanned the room, then landed on me. "You always were too weak to carry a legacy," she said. Not even a pause. "No, I'm sorry, no, how are you?" Just that. I couldn't respond. I just turned my face to the wall. Frozen. That night, after the shift change, a young nurse came in. She gave me water and pain meds, and paused like she wanted to speak, but didn't. She left. 20 minutes later, she returned with tea. I noticed something, barely visible, tucked under the cup. A note. I unfolded it slowly. My fingers were shaking. "You are not alone. He's been here before. I'm so sorry." Just one sentence. But it shattered me. "He's been here before." I stared at the words. My chest got tight. My stomach twisted. It wasn't his first time in this hospital. Not his first loss. He had never told me. When I got home days later, he said he was heading out with his sister to process things. He said it like he was doing something noble. As soon as the door closed behind him, I went to our closet. I didn't even know what I was looking for, just something. Something that would explain what the nurse meant. And I found it, tucked inside an old shoebox buried under winter coats. A small hospital bracelet, a sonogram, a photo of a crib still in plastic. My heart dropped. He'd been through this before. And he'd never told me. When he came home that night, I was sitting on the couch, the box in front of me. He froze. "You knew," I whispered. "Chelsea," he began. "You knew, and you left me alone." He didn't deny it. He didn't even cry. He just sat beside me, quiet. And for the first time, I saw the stranger I married. I just needed to know something. Something real. There was a shoebox, old, taped shut, hidden behind some winter coats in our closet. It looked forgotten, but I wasn't searching by accident. My gut told me there was something he hadn't said. When I pulled it open, my hands were already trembling. Inside were a few folded documents. Clinic bills. 2 different dates. One from 3 years ago. Another from about 14 months before our wedding. Same hospital. Women's health unit. The first paper had no name. Just his signature. The second one did. It was her name. Brown hair. Always laughed a little too much at his jokes. Worked with him for a few months. I thought it was nothing, just one of those harmless office friendships. Now I wasn't so sure. They never mentioned it. Not once. Not to me. Not to anyone else that I knew. But there it was, hiding in plain sight. And I couldn't stop thinking. Was I a replacement? Was I ever real to him? Or just someone to fill a space left behind? That night, I wanted to confront him. I sat on the edge of the bed, rehearsing my words like a script. Where were you when she lost hers? Was it with the same nurse who slipped me the note? But the words never left my mouth. I froze just like I had in the hospital. My mouth wouldn't move. My chest ached with silence. Instead, I watched him. He got quieter around me, not from guilt, but distance. Like he'd packed himself up and moved somewhere far away, even though he was still under the same roof. He came home late, smelled like whiskey and cheap aftershave. I'd ask if he ate. He'd just nod. That was our marriage, half answers and shadows. About a week after I found the shoebox, I went back to the hospital. I asked the front desk if Nurse Marta was working. She's not on schedule today, the receptionist said, looking up briefly from her computer. So I left her a note. Thank you. I understand now. I waited. Maybe she'd reach out again. Maybe she'd explain the whole truth. But she didn't. And maybe that silence was her answer. Maybe she already said enough. One night, I couldn't hold it in anymore. We were sitting at the table, eating dinner in silence. I cleared my throat. Did you come to this hospital before? Years ago. He froze, fork halfway to his mouth. His eyes locked onto mine. Why? He asked. Just wondering, I replied, calm. Too calm. He chewed, swallowed. His face tightened. Why are you digging through the past? He snapped. I didn't answer, just looked at him. Then he pushed his plate aside, stood up, grabbed his coat. You want me to say I screwed up? Fine, I did. It was before you, before we were serious, and it wasn't even mine to decide. He paused at the door. You want to drag old ghosts out? Go ahead, but don't act like this has anything to do with now. And just like before, he left. Again, out the door, like I was the mistake in his life. I sat there for a long time, staring at his half-eaten dinner, at the empty chair, and something hit me harder than anything he'd said. He never once asked how I was doing. Not once. 2 days later, his sister called. We'd never been close, but that day, her voice was soft. Like she was carrying something too heavy to say out loud. I didn't know about the other one either, she whispered. Not until it was too late. He never told me the full story. The other one? I asked. My heart sank. It wasn't just one woman, she said. There was more than one loss, more silence. I swallowed. My voice cracked. How many times? She paused. I could hear her breathing. I don't know. 2 for sure, maybe 3. That was it. Everything inside me just stopped. Like my brain couldn't keep up. My hands went cold. My ears rang. This wasn't just grief. This was a pattern. I finally saw it. The whole pattern. He had been through this before, not with me, but around me, beside me. I wasn't the first. Maybe not even the second. I was just next in line. And I realized something that broke me all over again. I wasn't grieving alone. I was grieving inside someone else's unfinished story. That night, I went back to the shoebox. There were things I'd missed the first time. At the very bottom, tucked under old receipts, was one from a pharmacy 2 towns over. Nausea meds, prenatal vitamins, all paid in cash, no names, just dates. One of those dates matched a time he told me he was on a 3-day work trip in Denver. I sat there, frozen, staring at the receipt. Then I pulled out my phone, checked the date. I still had the message from him. A photo of dinner in a hotel room. The text said, long day, just grabbed something to eat. Miss you. Now I wasn't sure he had ever been there. I called the hotel. Hi, I'm trying to confirm a stay under my husband's name. It would have been about a year ago. The woman typed on her keyboard, paused. I'm sorry, ma'am. We don't have any reservation under that name during those dates. I hung up. My hands were shaking, not from rage, from knowing. From finally accepting what had always been right in front of me. I opened his old laptop, one he barely used anymore. No password. I don't think he ever imagined I'd look. There weren't many emails left. But one stood out. From Rachel. You said we'd try again. You said last time was just bad timing. I'm not doing this alone again. Okay. Dated just over a year and a half ago. There was no reply in his inbox. But there was a draft. Don't do anything until I figure things out. Please. I'm not ready to lose you. He never sent it. Or maybe he did, and this was just a copy. I just stared at the screen. Feeling sick. He had been juggling both of us. Her, and me. When he came home that night, I didn't move. I sat in the dark. Laptop still open on the table. He saw me. Saw the email. He didn't say anything for a long time. Then, in a tired voice, he whispered, "You went looking." I nodded. He didn't deny it, didn't yell, just sat on the arm of the chair across from me and rubbed his face. "They all wanted to keep it," he said. "You were the only one who didn't make it to 12 weeks. Just like that, like I was a number. A failed attempt. And I knew in that moment, I was never the beginning of anything for him. I had always been, the in-between." He looked at me like he expected me to understand. Like it was just a fact. But it cut straight through me. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I stood up, walked into the bedroom, shut the door. The next morning, I got up early, showered, got dressed. I didn't speak. For 2 weeks, I said nothing. I smiled, made him coffee, acted like I was healing. But I was watching, planning. He didn't notice me photographing the documents. Didn't see me printing out the email, the hotel receipts, the fake dinner picture. He didn't see it coming. The morning I left, I set an envelope on the kitchen table. Inside were copies of everything. No letter, no threats, just facts. Then I walked away, but I didn't stop there. I emailed Rachel. Her reply came within hours. 2 words. He lied. She told me everything. He had promised her he was going to leave me. That I was too fragile. That the miscarriage was a sign we weren't meant to have kids. He used my pain as proof. As a story. As a weapon. Then she told me something worse. That he told her I ended it on purpose. That I never even wanted a baby. I saw red. So I called his job. HR department. Told them about the unreported relationship with a subordinate, Rachel, while she worked under him. Told them I had proof. Emails, screenshots, dates. They said they'd investigate. Then I found the wall where his mother lived. I emailed the board chair. Told her what her son said to a bleeding woman in a hospital bed. Attached the quote, "You were too weak to carry a legacy." They never replied, but a friend told me her book club stopped inviting her. The last thing I did, I mailed the rest of the shoebox to Rachel. She told me she was going to show it to his sister, who had defended him for years. That's when I finally stopped. Because now, every door he walks into, someone knows the truth. No screaming, no drama, just quiet facts. And me, I'm not proud of everything I did. I wish I'd trusted my gut earlier. I wish I hadn't begged someone like him to love me back. But I didn't break. He did. Sometimes I still lie awake and wonder, how many others were there? How many stories did he bury? Then I remember his words. Greater than, it's not just your loss. He was right, but it's his loss, too. Because now, he can't control the story anymore. If this story moved you, made you feel something, or made you think about trusting your instincts, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us keep telling stories that matter. See you in the next one.